Well, hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gonzo, the voice of the FIS, and welcome to P1's broadcasting the coverage of Round 2 of Season 1 of the Porsche Super Series in support of the Formula Indy Series, coming to you from the Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales, Australia. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Stephen Larkamp. Welcome to the program and to Bathurst, Stephen, a place that we know you're pretty familiar at. I'm not really familiar with this place at all, so we're going to rely on you a lot. But we are about 35 seconds away from going racing here in the Porsche Super Series. Last week was a pretty good opening race, a good lineup. But now we go to a whole different beast from the relatively flat Fuji race course, even though there were some altitude changes. There's a lot of altitude changes here at a place that really can bottle you up in a heartbeat, Mount Panorama.
Absolutely, and Bathurst definitely is a far cry from Fuji last time out here, both in terms of the altitude is one thing. Of course, we're going up and down Mount Panorama here, but at the same time, it's going to be a big challenge for the drivers from an overtaking standpoint. It's going to be a lot trickier circuit to make moves on, and you're going to have to be much more precise. There is, especially on the backside of the course, there is no margin for error here. You put your car a bit too close to the wall for your own comfort, it's likely going to be either damaging or the end of your race. And Bathurst never forgives, it never forgets, and you never forget driving here. This one's going to be fun as always.
And let's go ahead and get today's grid in. We'll get the rest of the graphics here and get the grid in before we go racing. Go right ahead, Steven.
And on the pole, the winner last time out, Dalton Zavadil, off to a fantastic start once again. A 2:06.5 his time around the mountain. Alongside him will be Gavin Sanders, a well-known figure on our end on the IndyCar side of things, of 2:08. So Zavadil off to a fantastic start there, just leaving them for dead on the grid. Sam McDougall and Kostik Solwedge will be row 2. And Ryan Thomas, Justin Knoll, green flag flies already. They were very quick about getting on the grid. And once again, Zavadil gets out to the point. I was slow on the call there. Zavadil gets off to a great start. Sanders gets ahead of Sam McDougall in the second place. Kostik Solwedge, Ryan Thomas, Justin Knoll, Nate Siepker, James Watson, Matt Johnson, Bacon Zelenka, Matthew Short, Sean Bakley, and Eric Dubois is your 13-car field as they head up towards the hill for the first time. Zavadil out to a good start, but Solwedge putting Sam McDougall under pressure as they start to make the climb for the first time. Solwedge putting McDougall under pressure here as they head uphill through the cutting. Always very precise through here as they head up towards the stands up here, effectively through the parks. As they reach Skyline, this is the top of the grade, top of the mountain. And now the downhill run begins. Sanders seeing Zavadil starting to run away here. Everyone's smooth through the top of the hill so far. I'm seeing Nate Siepker putting Justin Knoll under pressure for 6th position. Very difficult to make a move down here, though, as they head towards Forest Elbow. At the bottom of the hill, the 15 of Justin Knoll gets wide there and into the wall hard as Siepker clears him, and so does Matthew Short, who's off to a good start here. But Zavadil to the best start of them all here as they head down Comrade Straight and into the chase. Sanders holding fairly close to him at the moment. A bit wide of the exit, though, as Dalton Zavadil comes down to the final corner. That's a lap of Bathurst complete for this 30-minute event. Just over 2 minutes. The run around here, 2:08 was the first lap for Dalton Zavadil as everyone starts to get underway. As behind them, that was Bacon Zelenka around off the final corner.
Bacon's got it back underway. but he cycles back to 12th. Let's go to the closest battle on the racetrack, and it is Soloway and Ryan Thomas. This is a battle for 4th and 5th. Actually, Soloway is 4th and, McDougal, 3rd and 4th as they come up the hill.
Right up underneath them. Oh, he's around and into the wall. Kostek Soloway, a bit too aggressive on the throttle there. Oh, more cars coming in behind them. That was Nate Siefker, I believe. Siefker around and into the wall. He's going to drop back. Lights up the rear, spins it around. Car is still drivable, I believe. Unless Siefker is going to give up on it. No, he's not. So he's going to keep going. So McDougal losing the pressure right now. Comfortably in 3rd as Ryan Thomas now slots into 4th place after all that.
It happened right behind our tree graphic. So hopefully we didn't miss too much of that action. But we are back up front in watching 4th place Ryan Thomas. He is the lead amateur.
Oh, Siefker actually hit the wall even harder there. That is an even more damaged race car as the 14 machine. Ooh. He is firmly out of this race.
Boom.
And that's really the thing you always got to be careful of here at Bathurst in any car. It doesn't matter what it is. It is a track of precision more than anything else. You make one tiny mistake, it's going to cost you even more than it would at most other places.
Real quick, we do have the points for the Porsche Series. But again, it's just how we finished last week, so it shouldn't be too great surprise anyone. Dalton is the leader. Soloway is 2nd. Russell 3rd. McDougal 4th. Williams is 5th. And there's your top 5. There's your complete top 10. It's only round 1.
Only round 1, of course. And it's going to be a decently long season ahead. Not as much as the Formula Indy guys per se, because we're skipping out on the road courses as another car spun behind way towards the back of the field, trying to see who that was. That's Matt Johnston, who lost it in turn 1 through Hell Corner. So the track continues to present a lot of challenges. The 15 of Justin Knoll spins around again in turn 3. In turn 2, I should say.
No, look out. Here comes a car around.
Watch out, here it goes. That was Matt Johnston. Lost it earlier.
He probably had a yellow flag, but still, when you come around those corners, even though you see a yellow flag, you still don't really expect the car to still be there, and sometimes it is.
Yeah, especially with how blind the corners are. The concrete barriers you got here, they're just about at your face level in the cockpit of the car. You cannot see over them to see what's going on here. You're totally reliant on the flag guy and your spotter to know what's going on here, and sometimes it's hard to tell what's going on because some drivers just make some interesting maneuvers, shall I say. And looking at Kostek Soloway, back up to 7th place after spinning out earlier and losing it down to the towards the back of the top 10. Kostek putting in some good pace so far, catching up to the back of Matthew Short in 5th place, so he's already back up to 6th so far.
Purple lap for Dalton Zavadil, your leader. Much like he was doing last week at Fuji, just putting one purple lap after another as the tires warm up and the fuel burns off on these cars.
And that's and it's pretty close to the qualifying times as well that Zavadil was putting in earlier. It really is showing just how much pace he has in these cars and how much pace it has to give. Gavin Sanders, of course, more of an open wheel guy running in 2nd place, and the same can be said for a lot of other people in this field. They're definitely having to learn the ropes pretty hard with these cars. Tin tops are definitely a very different animal than the open wheelers, especially at a track like Bathurst. You're gonna have a pretty steep learning curve And sometimes it's a learning brick wall to the face.
I want to thank everybody for watching last week's broadcast. It is our most viewed broadcast in the short history of the channel. We also did pass a milestone this week with over 500 subscribers. So help us with all this positive momentum. If you enjoyed coverage of the Formula Indy Series and the Porsche Super Series support race, and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. Next one for us, other than the main event later tonight, will be Sunday night. It will be the Classic IndyCar Series with their winter schedule. They'll be racing at actually this guy's home course. This is Gavin Sanders we're watching right now. His home course at Mosport and Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Go ahead.
Battle on for 5th place.
There it is.
To Matthew Short banging wheels there down Conrad Straight and into the chase there. Solwich looking for any sort of gap he can get. He's going to look to the outside coming into the final corner here. Short
crossover.
Oh, big switch back there. Crossover move trying to go into the final corner. Up on the curb and contact. And both of them
contact.
It's sent around a switch. It's sent around into him again. Both of them are involved.
James Watson, Bacon Zelinka, the big beneficiaries on that one.
Absolutely there. That was definitely a lucky break for them. But these two get into a bit of a tussle early on there as Solwich lets Short go. He's going to pull over, and he is actually... Is he going to be out of the race? It looks like it.
He's going to punch out, yeah. And that classic...
He is out of the race. So Kostek Solwich, a little bit too damaged for his own good, I imagine, and probably just frustrated with the result he was getting so far. So he is out of the going. Yeah,
watching Dalton here, he's sporting a little damage on the side of his car, so he smacked the wall somewhere on this race course.
So easy to do here too. So you gotta be very careful here. You gotta be careful with your wheel placement. You gotta be careful with your throttle. You gotta be careful with pretty much everything here while running it right up on the ragged edge. Bathurst is like a beautiful example of a fun track, but it's fun because it's scary.
That Classic IndyCar Series race I was talking about will be 3 p.m. Eastern for round 4 of 6, actually. Very small season, very short season of their winter series. And it will be at, as I mentioned, the home race course of Gavin Sanders, Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Mark Murphy will be on the call for that one, along with Andrew Wood. Back up front with about 19 minutes and 20 seconds left to play, and setting yet another purple lap is Dalton Zavadil. P2 Gavin Sanders in his first race in the series in the pig car there. And followed in by Sam McDougall in third. Ryan Thomas, the lead amateur, in fourth. And James Watson, who has been picking up and the key beneficiary on just people making mistakes in front of him, picking up positions, and is currently being pursued by Bacon Zelinka going into turn 1. This is the closest battle on the racetrack. We'll watch this.
And Zelenka has been setting some pretty quick lap times trying to run down James Watson. So Watson's going to have a rearview mirror full of that number 45 machine pretty shortly right now. But it's going to be very hard for Zelenka to make a clean go of it to get past them as they go up the hill. Staying back up through the cutting. Trying to get momentum here. Very difficult to make any sort of move here as they go through Quarry, Reed Park, and Frog Hollow. Up through Skyline. This is about the point where it's getting closer and closer to one of the best opportunities here, which is coming off of Forest Elbow at the bottom of the hill and then down the long Conrad Straight. But if you see an opportunity, I think Zelenka's gonna take it. Watson playing solid defense at the moment here. He knows that Zelenka is going to be setting up for a run. Not quite enough, it looks like, to get close to him at the moment as they approach the chase. But Zelenka's going to try and set up on the exit, it would seem.
There are your weather conditions right now. 73 degrees ambient, 78 degrees track temperature. Even though we are down under, these are all in Fahrenheit.
Yep.
Zelenka is there. He is all over Watson. Coming into one. Is he going to take a dive to the inside or just keep it in line and wait for a later turn?
Not quite enough, but going up Mountain Straight is another good opportunity as they come up towards Griffin's, which is turn 2 here. Here he comes. He's got the run. Looking to the inside. He'll have the inside here for Griffin's. Tricky braking zone here, but Zelenka's got the position so far. Can Watson do anything about it? Not quite enough to get the run back. So Zelenka up into 5th place right now. Solid run so far from the 45 machine.
Yeah, recovered from a little bit of an off track very early in this race. Now up to 5th for Bacon. James Watson up 2 spots. He's in 6th. Bacon up 5. He's the biggest gainer of this race. Short and Bagley back in 7th and 8th. They'll both each up 4 spots. 15 minutes, 40 seconds left to play here for round 2 at Bathurst, Mount Panorama Circuit for the Porsche Super Series. The opener for the main event later tonight for the Formula Indy Series, when they will do about 125 miles at this course for the second time ever.
Definitely not a track a lot of people associate with open wheelers for sure.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah, and for good reason. I'll definitely say for good reason. But Bathurst is legendary around the world as the home of tin top racing. It's the home of the V8 Supercars' most famous event, the Bathurst 1000. And you've also got, of course, the 12 hours of Bathurst. And, as Ryan Thomas overcooks it into the wall, actually, from 4th place.
Ooh, James Watson ended off as well. We'll get back up on Thomas, excuse me.
So Ryan Thomas gathering up, trying to see if there's any sort of damage on the 32 machine. It was onto a soft tire barrier, thankfully, so it probably didn't do too much damage to him. Still one of those examples of a tricky braking zone here. This track has got quite a few of them.
I can tell. A lot of debris coming off that final corner. This is a 3.86 mile road course and has 23 turns. And on that last turn coming onto the main straight, a lot of debris being kicked up right now.
And I will say, whilst we don't have too much data in the form of open wheelers, some F3 events were held here.
Ooh.
But on the Porsche side of things, we do have a lap records that I'm able to see from a cursory examination of things. Harry King in 2023 in the Porsche GT3 Cup, 2 minutes 5.4. So Dalton Zavadil at 2:06.1 last time around, and the fast lap in practice was a 2:06 even. So we're getting pretty close to those times in these Cup cars.
Yeah, and this is fixed setup, so they could probably get faster if they had an open setup.
Exactly. So it's a track that may have a bit more to give, but you're going to have a hard time finding it in a lot of ways.
Avadil, another purple lap that time by 2:06.1. And he is just really pulling away from Gavin Sanders, who is, we know, is an accomplished racer in his own right. Former FIS Series champion, inaugural season champion.
Mm-hmm.
Winner
Yeah,
at the
definitely.
Lionheart level, winner at the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series, numerous other open wheeler online leagues here on the service. So he's just pulling right away. And then we also know in real world racing that Gavin raced a little bit heavier of a car. It was a Mercedes. Actually, you could see him on if you search him up on YouTube, you could actually watch one of his wins in the Mercedes at Toronto, one of his home races as well.
Nice. Oh, very close to that wall there is Gavin Sanders. In fact, he's starting to, he's pushing it fairly hard here. They head down the hill. The gap right now from Zavadil to Sanders, 13 seconds last time at the line. So Zavadil has found something in that car. He's really got his foot down on this one. And he's been setting consistent lap this whole time. This is the pace this car can certainly give with this set.
And see if he comes down and sets another purple lap. Coming down into the final corner. And that quick left-hander onto the main straight. Main straight not very long here. .206.3
last time around. Still consistently in the low 206s. That's pretty quick pace. And up mountain straight we go.
A little further back, here is the closest battle on the racetrack between Watson and Short. Battle for 6th and 7th.
And Short.
Oh, off.
Oh, Short off there through the chase. Really easy to make that error too. But Short seems to be nursing a tiny bit of damage on that 35 machine. After all that's happened in that battle with James, in the battles that he's had earlier, he seems a little bit, the car seems a little bit on the wobbly side, going down the front straightaway here.
I think just about everybody's sporting some damage, with the exception of maybe Watson. And again, Watson came away from Fuji almost incident-free, I believe, and that's kind of where he's been gaining his positions. Very much, as the Netflix show says, driving to survive, and sometimes that is half the battle right there.
Indeed so, and speaking of which, speaking of a battle too, I think there's another one that's going to be starting to come on, get close, about to be joined for 4th place. Bacon Zelenka has been putting in some rapid times right now. He's catching up to Ryan Thomas in 4th. So in the next couple of laps or so, I'm expecting to see that 45 car get right into the thick of it once more.
That big Team Eclipse entry. Of course, Eclipse had a big opening weekend on the IndyCar side of things last week. And Steven, he's there. He is right there, 2.5 back. Couple more braking zones. He will be right there.
Yeah, he found a lot of pace there on the downhill part of that downhill part of the mountain. Zelenka really making inroads on Ryan Thomas right now. He's got a very fast car underneath him. Around about the same pace roughly as Sam McDougall.
A lot of off tracks there. That's not going to help things.
No, it's not. That's definitely not going to help.
Bacon is there. They're not going to be close enough going into 1. Very short front straight here. I haven't seen the entry list for the IndyCar race yet, but they might be starting around the corner.
They could very well. It's very easy to have that happen, especially with a larger field like we expect. If it happens in the Bathurst 1000, it could happen here in this series.
Here's out the front nose of Zelenka's car. Coming into the braking zone, going up into the mountain.
And fast left-hander, tricky braking here, going into the cutting. Trying to set up momentum there, it looks like. And then through Quarry. Basically a single line through here. You gotta get this one right.
We've seen a number of iRacing folly videos of open wheelers getting bottled up and through that section.
Yeah. And it happened with a lot of cars too, and open wheelers. Open wheelers are one of the most spectacular examples of that, I find. And then downhill through the dipper. All the way down the hill, working your way through these S's into Forest Elbow. He's really starting to catch up here. And then down Conrad straight, up through the gears. Can Zelenka pick up a bit of a draft even off of Ryan Thomas?
And down this straight is long enough. Punching a big hole in the air with those these wide fenders and that big fin on the back.
Zelenka creeping closer, closer, closer. Not quite enough yet. Up on the curb goes the 32 of Ryan Thomas. Trying to do any sort of defense he can here. Oh, bit squeamish there on exit was the 32 machine. And across the line they come. Zelenka about 8/10 faster last time around compared to Ryan Thomas on the throttle once again. This is one of the best opportunities coming up here, coming up to Griffins. Is he going to be close enough? Not quite. Going into the braking zone, so this is going to be a tricky situation here. Zelenka really should not run over the guy in front of him, but it's really easy to do that, especially if you're not sure how comfortable they are under pressure going over the mountain. I don't think anybody truly is.
Right. Well, how much of this section right here is single file? It doesn't look like there's very many places to pass here, mainly because
the majority.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot of places that when you go off, you can recover.
Yeah, it's really much it may be going on the start of the downhill section through Skyline. Is Thomas in trouble there? Coming out of Skyline there, locked up actually. And into the wall he goes hard. That was a big wallop for Ryan Thomas. He may be nursing a pretty heftily damaged race car there as Zelenka moves up into 4th place.
And while we're watching that battle up front, Zavadil now extends to a 19, almost an 18-second lead with probably about 2.5 laps to go here with about 4 minutes, 14 seconds left to play here. Looking for his second straight win and extending the point lead in this brief championship. Next race, we will be at Texas Motor Speedway, and the Porsche Super Series will take the week off. We will see the Porsche Super Series next on the schedule when we go to, I think, Masano, I think.
Yeah, let's have a good to double check on it to be sure.
Yeah,
but
Masano, round 4, yeah.
Yeah, Masano World Circuit is definitely one of them.
With rounds followed by Sebring, Laguna Seca, and then another week off when the IndyCars go to Milwaukee. A couple more weeks of Sachsenring Spa, VIR, then take another week off for Nashville, and then we'll wrap up the season in April at Road Atlanta for the final race of their season and the FIS season.
So yeah, it's going to be a pretty diverse mixture of circuits here, including some circuits that I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys are only just starting to come to grips to. Circuits like Misano and Sachsenring. Those are going to be really fun.
Some I don't even own yet, so I'm going to have to buy some of them already.
Yeah, and And I'm definitely going to be giving them a try too. I've watched a lot of MotoGP at Saxon Ring before, of course. Misano, a little bit of motorcycle stuff as well, but also some touring cars. So I'm going to have to like refamiliarize myself with those circuits particularly. So that's going to be a fun relearning experience, I think. And it's going to and with a lot of guys learning it too, that's going to lead to some fun racing, no doubt.
Really no close battles on the racetrack. Watching our leader at the moment. Right behind him, a good distance back, is Gavin Sanders, making his debut in the series today. And not too far behind Gavin is Sam McDougall, currently in third.
Yeah, McDougall's had a pretty quiet race so far, but a quietly solid one as well. They're off to a good start this season. And this will definitely help the cause a good bit. Been pretty quiet but confident, I'd say. And running about the same pace as a lot of other fast guys like Bacon Zelenka particularly, who's starting to pull away from Ryan Thomas in fifth. But Dalton Zavadil has just been absolutely killing it so far this season. And this race... And this really is a driver's racetrack in every sense of the word. And he has really shown the strength of the driver that you have behind the wheel of that 24 machine in these Porsches.
This is where IndyCar driver Scott McLaughlin sat on the pole for last year's Indy 500, cut his teeth. Coming to the white flag here, this time by, I believe, for our leader, Dalton Zavadil. Looking for win number 2 here in the Porsche Super Series.
White flag in the air. Dalton Zavadil, just one more tour around Mount Panorama. And it's been a pretty solid one so far tonight. These guys getting some good lessons in for how this car is working, especially at a track like Bathurst. This track will teach you one way or another.
Now, these walls look very unforgiving, especially in the mountain portion.
Up over the hill now. Really close to that wall there. As they get to Skyline for the last time, Dalton Zavadil, he's just put on a clinic tonight, and then downhill we go. Tricky braking through here. Weaving your way between the walls. Force elbow one last time. And on the throttle we go. Dalton Zavadil has done the hard work.
Looking at just a few more flicks of the wrist, coming through a couple fast corners and one slow one. And he will be staring at the checkered flag for win number 2 here in the PSS. Formula Indy Series. Coming up next, it's the Joey Crossing Grand Prix of Australia. But before we get there, this man's going to win race number 2 in the PSS here at Bathurst. Dalton Zavadil, easy win, easy dub, and a purple lap to boot at the very end. Insult to injury as he gets the win here at Bathurst.
What's happened to Sanders? Gavin Sanders is coasting. Is he out of fuel? Oh my goodness, he may have, is maybe coughing right now. What has gone wrong with Gavin Sanders? Barely moving, but Sam McDougall now moves up into second place. And McDougall will take second. Can Sanders make it across the line? Looks like he will. Coasting around in third. What has happened
look
to
at this.
Gavin Sanders? That sounds like a motor. I think
Oh.
he may be
He's
out
not to
of
the
fuel.
flag yet. He's not to the flag yet.
It doesn't matter. He's already crossed the actual line.
Okay, all right. Here comes Bacon.
Yep, Bacon Zelenka over the line for fourth, and Ryan Thomas will take fifth. But Gavin Sanders from second place down to third, running out of fuel, it would seem, crossing the line. And everyone else starting to make their way around is Matthew Short trying to hold off Sean Begley, crossing the line 7th and 8th, respectively, and Justin Noel will be the last of the 9 cars that will finish this race. In a tough showing for a lot of guys here, a very arduous journey around Mount Panorama.
Yeah, not an easy trek around this place. Let's get into, let's cue up some replays here, get into the final standings, and talk about with our winner, Dalton Zaffadil here. So let's get into some replays here real quick. And here are your results from Bathurst. Dalton Zaffadil, 2 wins in a row, and the winner, well, it could have been a whole lot more by 34 seconds over Sam McDougal. Gavin Sanders chugs her home in third for the podium. Bacon is in fourth. Ryan Thomas fifth. James Watson, JW, brings home the James Watson Racing entry into sixth. Matthew Short, seventh. Sean Begley in eighth. Justin Noel, ninth. Solwich in 10th. Matt Johnson, 11th. Seifert, 13th or 12th, and Eric Dubois or Dubois. I'm not sure. He could probably let us know. I'll make sure we're saying that right in the Discord server. But 13th, he's credited for. And I'm sure we will get Dalton here in the booth just momentarily here. And talk about his race. I mean, I don't know really from his point of view what to talk about. It was an easy dub, other than just keeping it off the walls. But we'll get into the interview, and there he is. We'll bring him on up. Dalton, win number 2 here in the series. Back-to-back wins, starting off in Fuji and then here. Looked like a pretty easy dub for you, to be honest with you. You did sport a little damage on the side of a car from an earlier kiss on the wall sometime in the race, but continued even going into the late laps here as time expired, setting purple lap after purple lap. You really just seemed to really have the field covered. Talk about your race. Just seemed to basically just keep turning laps and hitting your marks.
Yeah, I love this racetrack. This is my favorite racetrack of anything. So I'm really, really strong here, and just had a really, really great car today as well with the setup and everything from P1 Docs. So really, really happy with it. Just went out there and did my absolute best.
Well, I think you had him pretty well covered. Steven, you got any questions for him? It's really tough to answer when the guy even got the Grand Slam, led every single lap, led the pole, won the race, got the fastest lap. I mean, what else is there to say, Steven?
Yeah, and it's I was not at all surprised when you said that this was your favorite track, because it's one of my favorites as well. And of course, next time out, we go to a very different circuit. We go to Misano. It's quite a land of contrast from a circuit like Bathurst. I imagine you're looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, that'll be a different experience. I can't say I've raced on Misano before, so it'll be a first time for me. So have to learn the racetrack a little bit and kind of figure it out. And so we'll see what happens next week, or next time around. But we'll do our best.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. Anyone want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the team, Fiercely Forward. Shout out to P1 Docs, make the best road setups in iRacing. And then also go out, donate to the Reptile Amphibian Center of the Rockies. Help out some reptiles. And then also kind of wanted to say, just for like interest of, I'll actually hold off for now. Maybe next week I'll make an announcement, but we'll see.
Okay, something to say. Well, we'll look forward to it. We will catch you at the next road course. But until then, man, 2 for 2 to start this season off. So way to go, and just kind of very early stages here, but putting a whomping on everybody. So I'm sure you're pretty happy about that. We'll catch you the next one.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, so a possible announcement in the offing coming up here, but any final thoughts from you, sir?
Well, pretty good appetizer, I'd say, for the big show that we're about to get in the open wheel side of things. And Bathurst, we saw pretty much the whole race. It was very rare to find a car after this race that didn't have any sort of battle scars afterwards. So, yeah,
right.
like this track does not forgive. It does not forget. And you're going to have to bring your A game to any race at Bathurst. We saw it here in the Porsches. We're going to see it in the open wheelers.
Tonight's coverage is sponsored by, and will be sponsored by for the main event as well, as it's got Joey Selmance and his art business, Jay Selmance Motorsports Art. Get your own hand-drawn racing artwork of your favorite driver, livery, team, motorsports moment to hang in your home. To see more of Joey's artwork or to contact him for your own commission, visit his website, follow him on Instagram, or email him today. You can find all of his socials in the description. And during the intermission, we'll have a bit of a slideshow with many of his IndyCar drawings, as well as a number of his other favorites that you can watch. And we will be in the intermission, and we will come back to you on the other side in preparation for the main event here at Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales. We're going to go 125 miles with the Indy cars, or roughly 125, maybe like 123 and some change miles with the Indy cars here for the second time in the history of the Formula Indy Series. Don't want to miss it. But the winner here in the PSS, Dalton Zavadil, stomps the field big time in the 30-minute race and the support race opener. And now we will go to intermission. Stand by. IndyCar is coming up next here on P1 Broadcasting. And everyone, hello again. Welcome back. This is Gary Gatto, Stephen Larkamp here at Bathurst for today's main event, round 2 of Season 7 of the Formula Indy Series for the Joey Crossing Grand Prix of Australia. And before we get into today's race, if you enjoyed today's coverage of the Formula Indy Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts with the 55 seconds left to play here in qualifying. Time still being racked up on the board. Cameron Dance provisionally on the pole to nobody's surprise in this booth. Sherlock Binsey, Sanders Ingrave. I mean, there's a top 5 for you. Steven, pace is picked up.
It certainly has, and looking at the paces here, these are definitely faster than any laps that has been turned at Bathurst in real life. Even that one time when Jenson Button drove a Formula 1 car around here, they were around that speed. These guys are absolutely flying around this circuit right now. I consider this this sort of combination here, I can see this as being something Scott McLaughlin dreams about at night. Of course, yeah, like this is a combination that's way out there, but way awesome, and it's going to make for some awesome racing, I think. And with 40, count them, 40 cars in our lineup tonight, this is going to be nuts for 32 laps around the mountain.
And we are in the warm-up period, which is we're going to need every one of these 5 minutes to read off the starting lineup. But there are the conditions going into the race. 73 degrees ambient, 102 degrees on the track temperature. So I'm going to guess, with over 100 degrees on track temperature, that tire deg might be a thing. So we'll pay attention to that. Remember, these drivers all have to swap tire compounds at one point during the race, so we'll be paying attention to that. But we got a packed lineup ready for you here at Mount Panorama.
And on the pole, hometown hero Cameron Dance, 141.7, an absolutely blazing time. He'll be alongside his number 6 machine. Will start alongside the 311 of Titus Sherlock, who had a great run last time out at Fuji. Can he go one step further? Caleb Bensey, former series champion, will start 3rd in the 32 alongside Gavin Sanders in the number 10, who got a 3rd place in the preliminary race tonight, though it would have been 2nd had he not run out of fuel. Hunter Engrav will be starting off 5th in the 77 alongside Tristan Moss in the 41. That's row number 3. Row 4, Tanner DeFabis, the winner last time out at Fuji, got a bit more work ahead of him here in the number 7 machine, alongside Logan Spath, the number 3. Christopher Hills, number 101, will start 9th, and alongside him, Connor Nixon, another fast driver last time out at Fuji, will start 10th in the 02. Row 6 will be Evagoras Papasavas and Kostek Solwedge. Row 7, Nate Siefker and J.W. Miller. Row 8, Matthew Short and Zach Fahm. Row 9, Matt Schlosser and Dakota DeMade. Row 10, Kyle Allen and Kyle Mundell round out the top 20. Row number 11, Gabriel Asseleni in the 87 alongside Cody Claiborne. Tommy Imruvial and Matt Johnson on row 12. Row 13, Archie Williams and Indica Scarlett. Row 14, James Watson and Takeshi Kita. Row 15, Nick Goyette and Hayden Herman. Row 16, AJ Digby and Dan Miglin. Row number 17, Tommy Cook and Corey Rutherford. Row 18, Joshua Rutherford and JJ Wang. Row 19, Sebastian Gianni and Michael Costello. And finally, row 20, Kevin Bonomi and Gabe Ogden. That is your 40 cars that will take the start around the mountain, the legend itself, the mecca of Australian motorsports. This is going to be something else, I think.
Oh my goodness.
And it's safe to say this is a track, we saw it in the preliminaries, this track does not, under any circumstances, forgive mistakes. If you make a tiny error with your brake point, tiny bit of error on the throttle, you
like
may
that.
lose it, you may hit the wall, and there are a lot of walls here. Runoff area, never heard of it.
And during this warm-up and even in practice, we saw a lot of people playing ping pong, not in the way that it was intended, but bouncing off the walls, going up and down through the mountain section.
And it very much is a mountain. It has been for, like it very much is the case here. In fact, the indigenous peoples of the area, the Wadurji people who lived in the area, they called it Wahulu, meaning to watch over. And you can definitely watch over all of the valley here and watch over a lot of action tonight. And that's why for the fans who come out here to Bathurst, to the mecca of Australian motorsport, they crave those mountain views. They crave being up at the top of the hill to see the action and to see the spectacular views here. This is one of those tracks that's way up there on my list of tracks to go to in real life, and for good reason.
I thought Wahulu was a sound that people are making when these cars go airborne.
That's what some of the fans are making, probably in shock at the same time, but yeah, it's yeah, that is definitely a sound that I think can be made here tonight. I think we're probably gonna hear it at some place. Like, with 40 cars here on the grid, I get the feeling a good chunk of them are not going to be making it through at least a certain lap of the race here tonight. 32 laps are on the books to be run tonight. 125 miles. Normally, of course, the 1,000 is 161 laps. That's 1,000 kilometers, around 620 miles. So it's a long race in any case, but it'll feel like a quick one for these guys, especially with how much they love this place. Bathurst is a track that so many people love. Let's get going.
FIS visited here before, back for round 4 of season 3. Alex Van de Sant sat on the pole, but the winner of the race was Michael O'Brien en route to his season 3 championship, his only win. O'Brien won. Principal Dan finished second. Gavin Sanders finished third. Caleb Binsey finished fourth. Nate Seifert finished fifth. Christopher Hill 6th, Matthew Short 7th, Jao Di Gregorio back in 8th, Dory Ricciuti, remember him, he was 9th, and Rodrigo Munoz in 10th. That was a top 10 back in that one start that we had back in season 3. Getting ready to go green here at Bathurst.
Everyone getting themselves on the grid, waiting for our pole sitters there. I'm seeing Titus Sherlock in place, Cameron Dance waiting on him. As everyone starts to get into place here, we will definitely be going around the final corner with all the cars on the grid. In fact, all the way back towards the start of the pit lane. And that is quite a ways back. Everyone on, waiting for the lights. Standing start here, of course. Revs coming up. And we are green on the mountain. Cameron Dance leads them away. Titus Sherlock trying to get a run on him, and here comes Caleb Benzie trying to get a run on Sherlock into hell corner. Everyone trying to file through,
Big
not
off.
hitting each other there. Oh, one off already. Gathers it up, though. That's the 71 of Papasavas. Recovering from that one. Lots of dust being kicked up there, but it seems like a fairly clean start as these things go. As we head towards Griffin's. The challenge begins now. Papasavas trying to make a dive on someone here as more cars trying to go too wide here.
Ooh,
and
Cameron Dance
uphill.
wide.
Cameron Dance is wide. Titus Sherlock on the attack. He's going to go around the outside, in fact, on the red soft tires. He's going to have a lot of grip underneath him. Dance trying to get them up to 10th, but Titus Sherlock taking the lead of the race early. Caleb Benzie now trying to get as much of an opportunity as he can on those soft tires. Down the hill we go. Very tricky under brakes here. You got a lot more downforce than you do in the Porsches or in the V8 Supercars, for that matter.
For sure.
Yeah, but even still, margin of error 0. They've made it through. Made it through Forest Elbow. Down Conrad Straight. Dance trying to stay in the draft to Sherlock. Sherlock trying to throw him out of the draft a little bit as we head to the chase. And Dance staying right in the wheel tracks, in fact, of Titus Sherlock. Through the chase we go. Everyone making it through good. Meanwhile, looking a little bit of a battle back there. Connor Nixon and more battles behind them. Number 10 of And trying to see that's number 10, Gavin Sanders, trying to fight out with Hunter Engrab, but across the line they come. Sherlock leads. Cameron Dance, Bensi, Engrab, and Tristan Moss in 5th place, up 1 spot.
A lot of debris being... Oh, look at that. Wow.
Look at all of that dust getting kicked up there off of Hell Corner. And now looks like it's going to be 3 wide there. Christopher Hill, Tanner DeFavis, and Gavin Sanders nearly 3 wide there to Griffins. Bold play. That is a bold move to be making there. Hill alongside DeFavis.
Oh, running out of room.
Over on the outside, not quite enough.
Dicey through here. One wrong move is going to plug the track up.
Exactly. It's so easy to make a wrong move here. Especially right now as I'm looking at DeFavis. DeFavis got a wrong grip underneath the contact there with Christopher Hill. No, with Gavin Sanders. Sanders is around into the wall. He is out.
No.
Is he going to get collected? Reset, Gavin. Reset, Gavin.
He has nowhere to go.
He has nowhere to go. I would just try and reset the car this way. He's trying to pull off. Okay, so he's going to be good. But that is an early departure for Gavin Sanders out of this race, it would seem. In a battle between Tanner DeFavis and Christopher Hill. Having a look at DeFavis. DeFavis looks like, doesn't look too bad on the car there. I think there was a bit of a phantom wing loss there. But either way, very lucky for DeFavis to be in that shape. Very unfortunate for Gavin Sanders as Titus Sherlock still leads the way. In fact, Caleb Bensi has gotten around Cameron Dance up into 2nd place.
Sherlock purple lap. And Bensi's teammate, Logan Spath, already showing out. So had an incident on the first lap. Also showing out on pit road, Joshua Rutherford, JR on pit road, Cody Claiborne on pit road in the Fish car, and Gabriel, and again, we're saying, hopefully saying this right, Assassalian, but he is now in 36 and out of the race for some reason. Not sure. Papa Savas is back a ways in 35th as well, but he might have started from pit road.
Yeah, Papa Savas, I think, was off earlier on. Still going, in fact, down in 37th after starting 11th. So one of our real-world racers who's a competitor in the US F2000 Championship. He has got a lot of work to do now, but he's got a fast car underneath him if it is indeed in the top shape that it can be.
This is the closest battle on the racetrack inside the top 10. Watching Solway and J.W. Miller right behind him, and also Nate Siefker as the lead of this pack. Former series champion there, Nate Siefker.
Yeah, Nate Siefker under pressure from Kostek Solway. Solway had
pushed the pass.
Yep, had a rough go of it last time in the Porsches, but pushed the pass button on for Solway. Catching him. Not quite enough just yet. Looks to the outside, going through the chase. This is
whoa! Very nice.
Makes it work.
Very nice. Almost.
Siefker trying to hang on to him there. The soft tire really seems to have a big edge so far in these early stages.
Something happened to Cameron Dance. He is now missing both of his front wings. He had an off there at turn 23, and now he's in a bad spot. He needs to make a whole lap before he can even come on the pit road.
Very bad spot. He got his right rear on the grass in the final corner. So that is one of the fast cars, the pole sitter, in desperate trouble right now. Heartbreak there for Cameron Dance as he's letting so many people by. But Titus Sherlock and Caleb Bensi, they see that fast car out of the running and thinking, well, there's a bit of pressure off for us.
There is 4 seconds back to Kyle Allen in 11th where Dance is. So if he can hang on, the worst, he's going to fall back to 10th, and then he's going to have to come to pit road. But unfortunately, it's going to probably mean an extra stop in this race for him because we are still very early before the pit window opens.
Absolutely. This is, this was never going to be a good situation in any case. It's going to be damage minimalization for Cameron Dance from here on out.
He can go right to the Reds if he wants. He's on the prime tire.
He could very well do that and run the rest of this race on the tire that he prefers.
Now, the tire situation, Sherlock, your leader, all the way down to the top 5, Christopher Hill. They are all on the alternate red tires. That is the stickier, faster, shorter lasting tire. There you see with the red sidewall. They are opted to go with that tire first. The first of the prime tire, which is this driver right here, Hunter Ingrave, in P6. That is the black sidewall, more traditional, longer lasting tire, harder, not as fast in the short run, but lasts longer in the long run. This tire he's the first on those, as well as also we want to watch Seeker Miller, and we now see Cameron Dance on pit road. Raval and Schlosser also on the prime tire.
And moved now Tanner DeFabus up into P3 around Tristan Moss. Beautifully done there by the number 9. The winner last time out at Fuji, and therefore the points leader on a tear so far, up from 7th to 3rd. Very good start for Tanner DeFabus, and can he catch Caleb Bensey or Titus Sherlock? Last time around, he was fairly even with them. What kind of pace can he pull?
And there are the points coming into today's race. And we'll bring up the amateur points real quick. There you go. Tom Raval, the leader there by 1 point over Kyle Allen.
And right now, in
the team points.
Yep. And in the case of the amateur championship right now, that that first 2 has been reversed. Kyle Allen leading the amateur division in 11th place overall, just ahead of Tommy Rufial, the 999 machine, running very well so far, but actually he's got that number 5 all over his rear right now. Looking to the end. He's going to be on the outside for the chase is Rufial, but he's going to clear him beforehand.
He did that all without push to pass.
And on the hard tire, whereas Allen is running on softs. So Tommy Ruvial up into 11th place, up into 10th place, I should say, with Cameron Dance on pit road, recovering from that incident. Dance is still going, thankfully. But all the way down the order he is.
29th.
Yep, 29th place. Ooh, very close there. That's with the 25 of Sebastian Gianni, and he looks to the inside, clears him there. Beautifully done, Cameron Dance. It's a big ask from here on out for Dance from here on out in this race, but if anyone's got the pace for it, it's definitely him.
He is the leader of the Classic IndyCar Series winner schedule that currently is on P1 on Sundays. Next race will be this Sunday from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. He is the points leader going into that round. Check that race out. Here he is on the inside of Miglin, getting on by where the road was really narrow through there, but he brute forces his way through. Yeah. But Cameron, you can watch him in his in that series, and that is the IR05, the classic IR05 Indy car on the service, the legacy car, and that's at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday here on P1.
And Cameron Dance has got a long train of cars in front of him. That's Zach Fahm, Matthew Short, and AJ Digby up ahead. He wants to make quick work of these guys to get himself any sort of course, not just the track position, but also clean air to run some fast laps and minimize whatever damage he would have.
Side by side in front of him. Oh, Digby! Oh, into side. He swaps over on Digby, crossover, gets the pass. And
beautifully done.
Yeah,
with a
very well.
Move.
Very chippy. Next up is that.
AJ Digby just. I don't
and
know.
He goes purple lap that time, as a matter of fact. And here comes Zach Flaum, and he's going to take a look to the. I think Zach's giving him a little bit of room. Probably knows he has some pace behind him. There he goes. They're side by side. I mean, up the hill, down the hill a little bit now, into the corner, and give the position back to Dance. Next up for him is Matthew Short.
What a run so far. Cameron Dance doing everything in his power to minimize all the bad that's happened on lap number 4. It's been a good effort so far. He's just Pac-Manning his way through this. He's got the grip on going through Skyline. He's going to be on the inside there and clears Matthew Short up to 24th now.
And he's already on another car with Goyette there.
For those of you watching at home who may be more familiar with racing games like Mario Kart, imagine this one being having a Starman at this point. Basically the equivalent of that.
And he's on those fresh alternate tires as well. So he is going to be very fast, setting that purple lap last time by. Might even get another one or close to it this time by. But there is a point of diminishing returns with those red tires. And they only last a couple good, at least the prime performance of them only lasts a couple of laps.
Indeed, so it's why you gotta be considering what tire is gonna be the best for you here. Are the red tires gonna hold the pace as long as a black tire would? The black tire obviously will be more consistent over the course of a run. The reds are going to be blazing fast and drop off. How bad is the drop-off point is the big question that these guys are all asking themselves in practice, in qualifying, in the warm-up, and now, of course, on the circuit.
Car off at the in the hill. It's Archie Williams. He gets a tow.
Uh-oh. Archie Williams, the 93 on pit road here. Looks like it was an incident
Matt
in
Johnston
Griffins in turn 2.
Matt Johnston smacks the wall going up the hill.
Oh, no. And that is a flopping right front suspension on that 04 machine. Matt Johnston has a rude meeting with the wall here as more cars trying to get around him. Oh, this is very hairy here going up near McPhillamy Park and through Skyline. A lot of blind corners here. I was saying earlier in the Porsche broadcast how, from the driver's perspective, the concrete barriers here at Bathurst, they are about at the height of your face. Well, they're even lower here in the IndyCars.
Yeah. We watched.
Yeah, the visibility around a lot of these corners is no.
We watched Johnston try to come down the hill now with that floppy wheel and staying out of everyone's way. He's only a few more turns away from making the turn down to pit road. Meanwhile, back up front, Titus Sherlock is your leader at lap 9, followed by Caleb Bency. And then Tanner DeFabis. There is Tanner, last week's winner, currently P3 on the running order. Hunter Ingrave, again, putting another fine race together. And remember last season, he started putting together not just fine races, but good finishes there in that. And you've already mentioned Super Mario. He's rocking that Super Mario helmet, as a matter of fact.
Hey. Very nice. And once again, like Engrav, always been one of those guys with exceptional pace, exceptional ability, but just couldn't get the luck out there, and like small errors, of course, but also just unfortunate timings. But right now in 5th, started 5th, currently running 5th. A very fine performance so far by Hunter Engrav, working lap number 9, soon to be lap number 10 here at Bathurst. And if anyone can...
Christopher Hill, pit road, scheduled stops, all right.
First, so there are takers coming in here. Christopher Hill was on the Reds. Gets it down here to 31 miles an hour, about 50 kph.
So can he do this and make this his only stop and do this in 20 laps?
That is going to be the big question mark, I think, because we're dealing with a very long track, and not only that, we're dealing with a long track with two very long straightaways, both Mountain Straight and Conrad Straight. It's going to be interesting to see the fuel situation these guys have.
Yeah.
It's possible it could be a two-stopper no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, I mean, let's try to go how we know, at least on this is a 3.86 mile track. So the closest thing I guess we would have to it in real IndyCar racing, give or take, would be Road America. And that's right at 4. And a run at Road America tends to be, what, 14, 15 laps?
Something to that effect, yeah. So it's getting
And they have 2 long straights there as well.
Yeah, maybe, well, you even count 3. So
sure.
We're talking about the straight from the carousel through the kink and down to Canada Corner. So you got a pretty hard fuel situation at Road America. So these guys are definitely going to be having a better go of it here. I imagine it's definitely possible that Hill could get this done. He could probably get this done from here on out at this point, especially if he's going to be fuel saving for much of this race.
I would imagine he can probably get 16, 17 here. And right now he's in the draft of the 999 of Kyle Allen. Kyle currently the second car in the amateur order behind Matt Schlosser. And, Tommy Revolm. And then he gets by him. So move Christopher Hill up to 11th after his first stop. Thomas Reval is your leader in the amateur category. He is currently in 9th. There he is. Schlosser in 10th. He is P2 in the amateur ranks. And Christopher Hill just behind them. Tristan Moss on pit road scheduled stop.
One of the first of our top 5 runners down and away. Switches to the hard compound tire. Does the 41 machine. And away he goes.
Hill beats him out.
He does indeed. Gets right in front of Cameron Dance, who has been on a brilliant pace so far.
Okay. Lap traffic now in front of our leader in the form of Corey Rutherford, as Sherlock now is encountering the lap traffic for the first time this race.
Another DNF right now. Michael Costello out of the race. And it's worth mentioning, too, this lead battle is getting closer. Caleb Bensey's got it down to under a second so far against Titus Sherlock.
Yeah, and Sherlock's got a little dirty air in front of him, and that's slowing him down, but he's going to get the pass into 23, and he's clear, and now we got Bensey. He's got a full head of steam. He won't get Rutherford going into 1, but he might get him up the long straight. He's going to turn under Walt. Rutherford's going to go wide, give the position to Bensey, so Bensey really doesn't lose a lot of time there.
Bensey's still within it. He actually lost time on that last lap at 1.2 seconds, but it's still a close matchup. Titus Sherlock's been running a sterling race so far, but Bensey slowly chipping away at it. And meanwhile, battle on for third. Tanner DeFabis under pressure from Hunter Engrav. Engrav really coming to life on the hard tire later on in this first stint. We're probably getting to the crossover point at this point.
I think we're there. If you're just joining us, this is coverage of the Formula Indy Series coming to you from Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst for the Joey Crossing Grand Prix of Australia. We've completed now 12 of 32 scheduled laps. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications, as we still got a long ways to go. First round of pit stops for a lot of these drivers still yet to happen.
Working their way around lap traffic once again around Rutherford.
And again, once again, shout out our sponsor today, Joey Selmans Motorsports Art. Get your own hand-drawn racing artwork of your favorite driver, livery team, or motorsports moment and hang them in your home. To see more of Joey's artwork or to contact him for your own commission, visit his website, follow him on Instagram, or email him today. You can find all of his socials in the description. Jay Selmans Motorsports Artwork, sponsor here of the Joey Crossing Grand Prix of Australia.
And it's been a pretty hot contest down here in beautiful New South Wales. Hunter Engrav fighting out with Tanner DeFabis, trying to catch up. We're really much at the crossover point on the tires here, as right now Bensey's actually gotten even closer. It's down to 7/10 between him and Titus Sherlock for the lead.
Really, the two closest battles on the racetrack are right here with the leaders, so we're gonna flip back and forth.
Cameron Dance is out of the race with a connection failure.
Oh!
Oh. Bad to worse there for Cameron Dance. He was actually getting close to the top 10, no less. Well, I'll definitely say this is a race he'll want to forget, and sadly so, because it's a home race for him in this league. But Titus Sherlock, there's definitely some tears shed here in this case, but... And now Dance is back in the race, but it is well far gone at this point.
You always got to hate when it's your home, when it's a home game for you, and it just doesn't work out. It's like double painful for me. My home game's in Indianapolis. So every time I don't win in Indianapolis, it's double pain. Here's Benzie taking a peek to the inside.
My home track at Pocono.
Yeah.
And look at Benzie. He is there, right up on the gearbox of Titus Sherlock. He's taking a peek, leaving him a little message saying, hey you're here. Not alone here, buddy. Through Hell Corner. And Benzie trying to get a run here.
He's on push to pass. There you see he's being lit up on the board there.
Sherlock is not using it. He's looking to the outside for Griffins. Can he hold it around there?
And
he's going to have
a new leader.
Caleb Benzie to the lead.
Our season champion 2 seasons ago. The Indy 500 winner in the Elite Racing League's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series Indy 500 last year.
It's been a great showing so far for all these guys. For Titus Sherlock's been doing great, and Caleb Benzie now.
Okay, now let's go back to that battle.
Tires last on the long run. Let's go looking back at the battle for third.
Yeah, it is really close. Tanner and Hunter. Hunter is there.
Yes, he is. Hunter Engrav. Ooh. Right up on the gearbox there. Very close to those walls. Down through Forest Elbow. Onto Comrade. The straightaway is so named because it would throw connecting rods. That's just how fast you could get around here. Getting up to 180, close to 300 kilometers an hour. Into the chase. He's having a look. Ooh, very close there. DeFavis defending hard there. Engrav trying to get a run on the exit. He's not quite there yet. He's going to have be forced to the outside there. Oh, they're both coming on the pit road. They're both coming in.
Scheduled stop. Careful, guys. Don't run over one another and lose a wing coming into the pits. And the leaders on pit road as well. Benzie and Sherlock. Scheduled stop at lap 15. Well, that kind of tells you what the distance is now, guys.
Yeah, leaders are all in, and a lot of these guys are on the soft, so I imagine they're going to have enough fuel, and they're going to be running hard compounds to the end of this race, except for Hunter Engrav. Hard for Sherlock, hard for Benzie, hard for DeFavis, soft for Engrav, as we expected, and Benzie leads them down and away. Titus Sherlock right in his wheel tracks. Little bit of squeamish there coming off of pit road. DeFavis still holding on to the position over Hunter Engrav, but Engrav is going to have a lot of grip in these opening laps of the stint. And DeFavis knows it. DeFavis will definitely know it. It was a slow getaway off of pit road there for Hunter Engrav, so lost a little bit of time there, but I think they were all just taking it easy there. Not, like you said, don't hit each other coming onto pit road. Right. Really easy to do, just don't do it.
Track has cooled down. It is 90 degrees for the track temperature, 73 degrees ambient, so that is fortunate for the tire dag. Caustic Solweg now is your leader. He has stayed out.
Oh, Sherlock way wide there, ran in the grass there at the top of the mountain. That is a probably underwear change after the end of this race. But Titus Sherlock not giving up this fight in the slightest. Bit of a lockup for Benzie through Forest Elbow. Down the hill they go. Can Titus Sherlock get the pass?
Push the pass. Caleb, now Sherlock on push the pass.
Both of them on the button. Sherlock is closing. Sherlock is there. He's going to be forced to the outside into the chase.
Yeah, just no place to go there.
Setting up to get a run.
Caleb put his car where he had to there. Great defense.
Good defensive driving there from Caleb Bensi, and Kostek Solwich comes on the pit road, leads a lap.
Wow. Caleb smacked that inside curb.
Yeah, and Sherlock was also getting a bit bouncy there.
Now he's on push to pass again.
Up the time. Here we go. They're both on the button.
You see the green on his steering wheel.
Caleb playing defense here, taking the inside into Griffin's. Holds him off once more. And this is the tricky part of the trying to make any sort of move. It's basically all based on a mistake. Caleb cannot afford that.
There's the switchback going up the mountain.
And I will note, Engrav has gotten around Tanner DeFabus up into effectively third place.
Yep, on those really sticky red tires. I mean, that got him the position. And now, can he hold on to that position when those tires go off and Tanner's tires come into their prime, so to speak?
Yeah, that's going to be dependent on Hunter just running lap after lap after lap and not cooking them. I think I saw a little bit of a lockup there through Forrest Elbow coming onto Comrade. So you got to be very careful there. It's a bit of an off-camber corner.
I think Solwig
really easy to block the wheel.
I think Solwig just dropped out. I think
yes, he did.
Had to be a packet drop.
Yeah, Kostek Solwich is out of the race, it would seem, after leading a lap just now. Very sad to see that for the 222. It's been a rough night so far for Kostek. Bathurst is going to be a weekend he's not going to want to remember too fondly.
JJ Wang going to the pits for a tow.
Yeah, that is a gone front wing on JJ Wang's 00. Not sure what happened to him.
Kyle Allen coming to pit road.
Kyle Allen's in.
And Kyle Mundell, I believe that they are teammates, the Kyles there. So Mundell, is now P8 in the running order. He has not stopped yet. He has lapped 16 of his stint, so he has worked his way up into the top 10 just by staying out, but we expect him to come to pit road any time now. A number of other drivers went 16 laps here recently. Allen did as well. Kyle Allen, James Watson, and also AJ Digby. They all went 16 laps.
Yeah, and it is splitting it pretty even down the middle for like how much time you got in this race. So it's definitely going to be a one-stopper for these guys. So Cameron Dance was always going to have a rough go of it. But Titus Sherlock still hounding Caleb Bensi for the lead here. Once again, down Comrade.
Here we go. Bensi on push to pass to the Finn.
Ooh. Again, forced to the outside. Caleb playing very good defense right now. On to that top spot.
Hey, and Steven, as these guys battle it out to the inside here, coming into 23, look who is creeping into the picture, P3.
Hi, Hunter Engrav. He is knocking out fast laps. Last time around, Bensi, 45-1. Titus Sherlock, 2. Engrav, 44-7. Catching them. He's 2.5 seconds now behind the leader, Caleb Bensi, and as these two are fighting it out and playing defense against each other, this is going to bode really well for Engrav early on in this stint.
And will these drivers have to make a second stop? A number of drivers looking at trying to do one, going long as possible. We will be continuing watching those, but is this going to be 2 stops for some of these drivers? I think there will be for some of them.
Some of them probably, but I think for the leaders, they played it so that you're going to have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race there, and you got different fuel maps to work with here. And on a track like this, especially on the mountain section of the course, you got
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I do think if you look at the left front wing plane of Sherlock's car, I'm seeing maybe some damage there. I think I see scuffs.
I'm not seeing too much on my end. Yeah, Sherlock's still looking okay so far. He's not as close this time around to Bensi than he was last time around, but that's just the sheer momentum of these things. The Titus Sherlock still, he will not give in. But Hunter Engrav is the looming threat. Christopher Hill now is out of the race.
Oh. Yes, he is now on pit road. JJ Wang on pit road. JW Miller on pit road. Corey Rutherford on pit road. So we started this race with 40. We are down to 20. Now, yeah, exactly 20 still running. The last car running in order is AJ Digby. A lot of attrition, and we knew it would be with these, especially with these hard walls, unforgiving walls, right in this section of the racetrack they're watching the leader go through right now.
Exactly. I've said before, and I'll say it again. Bathurst does not forgive.
Ooh. Nice slide there. Caught it. Got to the rumble strips.
And I'll note last time around, Engrav was 0.4 faster than the leader. It's down to 2.1 at the line last time by. Hunter Engrav making the most of everything he's got underneath him. And that 77 is probably the fastest car on the circuit right now.
Nate Seaver, former series champion, up to 5th. Tristan Moss, 6th. Bonimi in 7th. Thomas Raval, the lead amateur, currently in 8th. Matt Schlosser, P2 in the amateur ranks in 9th. And Kita working his way up into the top 10. That is your top 10 right now. Papasavis is on the verge of the top 10 in 11th for the pro driver. Flaum in 12th. Short 13th. Mundal 14th. Dakota DeMaid 15th. He just lost the position to Kyle Allen there.
One more time around. 1.7 for Hunter Engrav. That's the gap between him and Caleb Bensi in the lead. It's steadily getting closer and closer and closer.
Yeah, but those tires are going to eventually, their effectiveness is going to give up. He's 5 laps into this run now. So we saw someone, and I think it was Hill, came in at 10 laps to make. Ooh, there's a bit of a slide there, hitting the curb. But he came in at 10 laps for his first stop to get off of those alternate tires. We're halfway. So I guess if we go by that school of thought, we're halfway through a run on this set of tires.
You could very much say it that way. Yeah, it's getting it'll get closer and closer to the point where you're not going to have an advantage on the reds anymore. You're going to have it on the hard tire, and that's what Bensi, Sherlock, and particularly DeFabus, that's what they're all banking on here. Not only for Bensi and Sherlock to pull away, but for DeFabus to catch back up and once again take him for third.
And this portion of the racetrack has got to be like a cheese grater for those tires. Left, right, left, right. High-speed turns. I mean, that right there, downhill. You know, hitting. I mean, some of the cambers of some of those corners are very aggressive.
Yeah, and that is the part of the track that requires maximum downforce from the car, so that is going to put a lot of pressure on those Firestone Reds. It is going to be hard on them over the mountain. The straightaways are going to have a bit of reprieve, but not much.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Next week, how about 40 cars at Texas Motor Speedway? I'd love to see it. Show up next week. You might get a chance to see it at the Mile and a Half Super Speedway outside of Dallas-Fort Worth. Texas Motor Speedway next round in the Season 7 championship here for the Formula Indy Series. That's going to be a race to watch with 40 cars on the grid. I don't even think we saw a race that big in Lionheart.
If we did, we came close to it. I saw like 36 cars a few times when I was racing the Lionheart series, but I don't think we got to 40. If we did, it was really close, though.
40 cars at Texas Motor Speedway. Open wheel cars at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, that is quite something to see. Like 40 stock cars at Texas is already something else. In IndyCars, though, Oh boy.
But make sure to hit that bell, and you will be reminded 30 minutes before we go live and when we go live next week for that. Should be a great race. The first oval race, first of 3 ovals this season for the Formula Indy Series. Primarily, this is a road league. Normally, they have 1 oval race a year. Normally, that's like at Indianapolis or Fontana. We've had it at Michigan before in the past. But this year, they're going with 3 races. Michigan, or excuse me, they're going to go to Texas Motor Speedway, Milwaukee, the historic Milwaukee Mile, pit stop for our leader scheduled stop. So we know that he's making now another stop. He's not going to do it on 1.
He is not going to be doing it on 1 more stop. Is Caleb Benzie. He's coming in.
I guarantee.
Here comes DeFavis. DeFavis has caught back up to Engram. He's going to be diving it on the inside.
There
and
he goes. I guarantee Benzie's. Oh, I think he might have lost a wing.
And look. Oh, did he? Yeah, I think he lost his wing.
Both wing planes. Both wing planes.
Was that? Oh, yeah. Like,
careful,
that is a
careful, Hunter! And he hits the wall. And he toes. Oh.
He toes. Oh, no. Oh, just brutal for Hunter Engrab there. Oh, can my kingdom for this guy having any luck?
I said it before. He started last season to put those races together where he would qualify well, race well, and then finish well. And we're looking like another one of those today. But as we get to 10 laps to go in that neighborhood, he has an issue and is now out of the running while running in a podium position. That's going to now hand P3 over to former series champion Nate Siefker. But up front, Titus Sherlock is your leader. DeFavis is second, his teammate. And Caleb Benzie has rejoined, and he's on the red tires. I figured he would. I told you he was getting. I was getting ready to say, I guarantee he's going to the red tires with about 10 laps to go. That's about the usefulness of those tires. And he is going to be pushing here in these final 10 laps. So we'll expect to see some purple laps coming out of him with light tanks and red tires.
Yeah, the thing I find weird about this whole idea with Caleb Benzie is that it seems to me like you would be able to get it to the end on fuel unless something seriously wrong was happening. From some of the other cars we saw here, I'm kind of puzzled really by this move by the 32 crew.
Thanks to everybody who's joining us in chat. Shout out your favorite driver. We can get him on camera for you. Currently watching our leader, Titus Sherlock. Tanner, last week's winner, P2, trying to run him down. And 12 seconds back. Might as well be 12 miles back. It's Nate Siefker right now. Now remember, Nate is kind of on the road to recovery, and I think he's fully recovered, but he was in a pretty big personal incident through the course of last season, and was hospital ridden for quite a number of weeks during that last season, and is rejoined the series after his personal recovery, and is picking right back up where he left off.
And doing a very solid job of it so far. Started 13th in this race, currently running 3rd, and knocking some pretty consistent laps off, pulling away from Tristan Moss even in 4th position. Not quite to the same pace as DeFavis and Sherlock so far, but at this point, this is really a very comfortable position for Nate Siefker. The question mark, of course, is Caleb Benzie. Lap 24 now.
And here comes Siefker to pit road for his second stop.
Okay, so this may be a bit more necessary than I thought it would be. So Siefker coming in. I imagine he's going to... He's going to want to stay with Reds on this.
Yeah, I would imagine. This is where your Red Bull laps are coming in right here. We're in the closing stages, light tanks, and super fresh. And there's a purple lap by Caleb Benzie.
43.7. I think that's the first 43 I've seen all night in this race. That is a monster lap around here. Caleb is on it. So the question I'll have for this one, how long can Sherlock and DeFavis keep this going? Do they have something saved in terms of fuel strategy here? It looks like Sherlock didn't go quite as wide as he could up there through Skyline at the top of the hill, but we'll see if indeed he has the fuel to make it.
He has himself, and we're looking at gaps right now. Back to Bensi is 23 seconds. The pit lane delta is more along the lines of 30 to 32 seconds. So right now, I am going to forecast that if Sherlock has to stop, he's going to lose the lead.
I would think so, especially with the pace that Bensi's going right now. He had a little bit of a bobble there, looked like, going down the hill.
There it is.
Yep.
Coming to pit road's last scheduled stop for both our leaders, Titus and Tanner, coming to pit road, and they were able to get to pit road, but really before encountering the lap traffic or the slower traffic of Dakota DeMade before he went down a lap. So that is going to turn the lead over to, let's see if Tristan, who's also one of their teammates, now he's coming in. So
he's coming in too. Here comes Bensi. Through the final corner. Through Murray's onto the front straight. Watching for Sherlock. Off the jacks he goes. Down on the throttle. And here goes Bensi.
Caleb's
zooms
long
away.
by. Caleb is long by. He's now 2 seconds.
Gone.
2.5 seconds. Almost 3 seconds. But Sherlock back on the racetrack, on the button, trying to reel in the leader now, and he has time, and he's on the tire, and he could do it. We're going to see here, 8 to go. Caleb Bensi, your leader.
Slightly newer reds underneath Titus Sherlock, about 2 laps younger, and he is going to be dumping the button as much as he can for the rest of the stint here to catch back up.
And when we say the button, that is the push to pass button, and here is push to pass remaining for all of our drivers right now. Now, the service, iRacing, has recently changed the way that IndyCar reacts to the button. It used to be if you pushed the button and you were on 100% throttle and didn't shift any more gears, you would get 10 seconds of the use of the button, continuous. Now it's when you push the button, long as you're on the button will serve you that push to pass extra horsepower, and you could get off the button. So it used to be 20 pushes, 10 seconds each for 200 seconds. Now you get 200 seconds in continuous pushing of the button, if that makes sense. So Caleb Bensi down to 84 seconds left. Sherlock, 128 seconds left. Tanner, 25 seconds left. Bonimi on the button now. We'll get an update here very shortly when he comes off the button. Seifer on the button now. We'll get an update very shortly when he comes off the button. Papasavis, 124 seconds. Schlosser pretty much is done with the button. He's with 4 seconds left. And Mundell in 8th hasn't even touched the button. He has a full 200 left. Reval, 177. And Allen in 10th hasn't even touched the button at all either. Now, sometimes we have found in cases that sometimes people forget to map the button and they don't use it. But sometimes people are so close on pit strategy and fuel strategy, they can't afford to push the button. So we will see how this pans out for some of these drivers. But Bensi, 83, Sherlock, 114, Tanner, 20, Seifer, 78, Bonimi at 164, and Papasavis, 124. That is your top 6 right now with the button push.
I saw Sherlock on the button there going up Mountain Straight, trying to run down Caleb Bensi in the end of this race.
Now, did Caleb blink too early?
It's a good question. It's looking to me like Sherlock is catching him. These are the freshest laps that Titus Sherlock will have. This will probably be his purple lap. This is right out of the pits. And he is catching him on the button down Conrock.
Both of them on the button.
Both of them on it. 175, 180 miles an hour. Getting right up on that rev limiter. 185, 186. That's 300 kilometers an hour. Nearly 190 onto the brakes, into the chase. And Sherlock getting every millimeter of road out of this.
He's there.
He is right there. 43 even. Greg Murphy would be proud of that lap. That was beautifully done by Titus Sherlock. Own little version of the lap of the gods on that one. Titus Sherlock is there. Caleb playing defense. He's going to be on the inside here for Griffins. Sherlock forced to run outside here. He's got a bit of a run, but he's not going to have the track position there. Nearly runs into the marbles there.
Dirty racetrack.
Ben C holds on to it.
And if you like this moment, maybe this is the moment you want to come back to Joey Simets and say, hey, Joey, I want you to draw this Porsche, this memory for me that we're watching right here at Bathurst. And if you're interested in that type of thing, you can get artwork of your favorite driver, livery team, or motorsports moment to hang in your home. You can get that from, and we get that from Joey. Just check out his work. Visit his website, follow him on Instagram, email him today. You can find all his socials in the description. He is the sponsor of today's race, and he's picked a good one as we're coming down the long straight here, and the leader is being tracked down by Titus Sherlock, who's going to take a peek to the inside, coming in to the long part of the straight.
Here we go. He's going to be on the inside for this little bit here, but here comes the chase. Caleb Betsy trying to get back at him with the brakes. Side by side there, Sherlock forced wide there, but he is going to take it. He is going to hold on to it for now. Can Betsy dive in on him? He's going to try to. Sherlock holds him off, though. Betsy trying to get the cut back there, but Titus Sherlock will lead that lap.
Betsy on the button, trying to get a bit of a run going into one.
Through hell corner again. Betsy trying to maximize everything he can here. I'm looking at all the dust flying off there on the exit of the corner. Weaving everywhere. Sherlock trying to throw him out of the draft there. And he's going to hold on to it from here. But Betsy trying to take a peek. Not quite close enough. Titus Sherlock to the lead of this race. And away he goes. These were the money laps so far for Titus Sherlock. And he has really come through in spades. Caleb Bensey trying to hold on to the grip that he's got here. But I think you may be right, Gary. I think he may have blinked a bit early on this last stop here. It was the last one to come in that got the big advantage.
Five to go. Still a lot of racing left here. Remember, we're 3.86 miles a lap.
Takes a big circuit as these things go.
Yeah, it takes a minute 40 just to get around this place. So a lot can happen in that time. You can miss your mark. You can slide off. Lap traffic can become an issue. I swear I'm seeing wear on the left front wing of Titus's car.
It's funny because I'm not seeing too much on him. Just having a look at the front of that car, and it doesn't look like too much out of the ordinary. It's been very close. There's been very close calls throughout the night. There's no doubt about that. But Titus has done an amazing job running right up on the ragged edge and keeping it out of the wall in the process. Because really, that's definitely the clearest sign that you do have damage is when you hit the wall there. Ooh. This track will not forgive an open wheeler.
And now I think the concern for Caleb is, never mind the lead, is Tanner is really a lap or two away from being there.
Yes, he is. He was about nearly a second faster was Tanner DeFavis. Ooh. Last time around, very close there to that inside wall there. He's only got 3 laps to make it happen, though. DeFavis the winner last time out at the season opener at Fuji. He's on for a podium so far. Can it be one step higher?
And checking chat, they said get Dan Miglin or JJ Wang on. JJ's in pit road, and Dan is, I think he's done too, unfortunately.
Indeed. And
but we only have 14 cars still running. Something happened to Siefker. He's now back in 14th, 2 laps down, so not sure what happened to him.
Out of the car.
Yeah, he's actually out of the car a long pit stop, so something happened to Seaver. James Watson now up to 13th. He's the last car on the lead lap. 13 cars still running as some Dakota DeMaid and Gianni in a battle there for position. Gianni on pit road. Looks like Watson might get Gianni as well.
I think I see what happened here. Skyline claims another victim.
Ooh.
His name is Nate Siefker.
Ooh.
Just lost it going through that very fast left-hander at the top of the hill and just sends it around.
Miglin's back in 30 seconds. His day is done. Any other TWR guys? A lot of tragic out there for the TWR guys. I think one of your lead TWR guys is Mr. TWR himself, James Watson. He's back in 13th. He's missing a front wing right now. But he's driving to survive. He just wants to bring it home. And remember,
for 5th place, Evagoras Papasavas, one of our USF 2000 drivers, up into 5th place alongside just past Kyle Mundell.
That's for 5th. Bonimi now 4th. We might have
it was a 15-second gap to Bonomi, and hats off right now to Kevin Bonomi, by the way. Currently running 4th. You know where he started? 39th place.
35 positions gained.
To 4th.
Wow.
Kept his nose clean throughout all of this.
Let's not jinx him, though. He's got 3 laps to go. Let's bring it home, Kevin.
Exactly.
Bring it home, Kevin.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 to go this time around for Titus Sherlock. Up to over a 1-second gap now over Caleb Bensi, and that's just been beautifully done between these two. It's been a great battle all race. And Tanner DeFabus trying to spoil it for Bensi here and make it a 1-2 for their team.
And Titus will be experiencing lap traffic in the form of an injured James Watson.
Yeah, Watson with a broken front wing on that 39 machine, and that thing's been struggling for a while. Last time around was a 49.8. Trying everything he can just to keep it clean and get that 13th place finish in the books. You gotta be careful when you got 3 fast guys, Sherlock, Bensi, and DeFabus behind you. You don't want to ruin their day either, and ruin yourself in the process.
Well, it's talking about days out there. 14 spots for Kyle Mundell. 16 spots for Thomas Raval, your leader in the amateur rank right now. 10 spots for Kyle Allen. 18 for Kidda. 25 for Gianni. 14 for Watson, and we're watching this right here.
Watson.
Just not a place for Watson to hide through here.
Yeah, not a place for Sherlock to pass, except now through Forrest Elbow, and it's allowed Bensi back into the fight, coming into the last lap. Is it going to be enough? Because right now, he's also got to be worried about DeFabus as well. It's a 3-car train coming down Conrad Straight.
Bensi out of push to pass, basically. He's got 5 seconds left. Tanner out. He is Winchester. Sherlock still has 30 seconds left.
Oh, so Sherlock toying with them at this point, but he's got one more tour of the mountain. Titus Sherlock sees that white flag.
Look how close this is. Oh, my goodness.
Look at DeFabus. He is right up there on Caleb Bensi. Can he make this a 1-2? White flag. Bensi. He's got to be careful here. He's going to be playing defense.
And they're both out of it. They're both out of the button.
It's all going to be draft for DeFabus to try and get the move done. Not quite close enough through Griffins for the last time. The big opportunity, obviously, it's going to be getting that launch off of Forrest Elbow, down Conrad and into the chase. As Bensi bit wide there. Ooh, DeFabus actually got sideways there and lost a lot of momentum. Bensi needed that. Bensi holding on beautifully, but so is Titus Sherlock. Through the dipper for the last time. Just a few more to go. Bit wide through one of them, but not damagingly so. through Forest Elbow. And then down Comrade. And Sherlock dumping the button as I speak.
And doing a bit of a weave.
Yep, doing the weave as well. But Titus Sherlock, it's been a beautiful battle between these guys all race. The front guys have been putting on a show tonight. And the winner of it all is going to be Titus Sherlock from a podium at Fuji. And now a win at Bathurst. Beautiful job. Titus Sherlock wins on the mountain.
22nd different winner in league history.
Bensi and DeFabis, your podium, and a beautiful one at that. 1.7 seconds the gap between the three of them.
And let's cheer on this guy, Kevin Bonimi, now up 35 spots. Final set of quarters here for his race to come home in a top 5. What
Smooth
a
and steady all night.
What a race for this guy. He's not going to get the interview because he's not going to get on the podium, but we're going to shout him out because 35 spots is nothing to not write home about. Everyone be proud of this guy. 35 spots gained. Kevin Bonini, P4. And Papa Savas, he's just a couple turns away for another Eclipse in the top 5. Another Eclipse car in the top 5. There he comes home. And he comes home in 5th.
And we got a little formation flying here between the two podium finishers, the two teammates, Titus and Tanner. It's been a beautiful drive from all these guys tonight, and they put on a great show, and they got great results to go with it.
And here you go. The final results here from the Formula Indy Series at Bathurst for the Joey Crossing Grand Prix of Australia. Titus Sherlock getting his first career win here in the Formula Indy Series. Your winner, Caleb Bensi. Yet another podium for Caleb here in this series history here. He comes home second. So close to another win. Just blinked a little bit early. We will talk to him here in a little bit second to see what the plan was and if it was a gamble or not. Tanner DeFabis, excuse me. Last week's winner, he now has 2 podiums in a row, just like Titus, well, just like Caleb, actually. So the top 3 from last week are your top 3 this week. So this is going to be probably your story of the season right here. But Tanner comes home 3rd. Kevin Bonimi, man, the biggest gain of the day, probably one of the biggest gains we've ever seen in the history of anything on this broadcast. I can't very remember well if we've had more than, one driver do more than 30. We probably had like an Indy 500 where someone's done 30, but never 35. Never 35, at least when it comes to IndyCars. So that might be a channel record, but Kevin comes home 4th. Papa Savas in 5th, Mundell 6th, Reval 7th, Flaum 8th, the host at the most, our admin here, very quietly at top 10. Shh, very good run for him. Kyle Allen, the 999 in 9th, and Kidda, top 10 for him, P10. Your top 20 here, Gianni, DeMade, Watson, brings that car home limping, and 13th, Seifer, Schlosser, Moss, Digby, Engrave, Scarlett, Short. Engrave's performance just not indicative, really, the performance that he had all day, and 18th there. Our top 30, Hill, Solway, J.J. Wang there in 23rd there. J.W. Miller, 24th, Rutherford, 25th. Dance, again, not indicative of his day, just really started bad and got worse. But, man, he was fun to watch. He was in 26th, Goyette 27th, Costello 28th. Tommy Cook, that turn 200 crew there, 29th. Matt Johnston in 30th. Archie Williams, Miglin, Herman, Sanders. Again, not indicative of his performance. And 34th, Nixon, Gabe, Cody Claiborne in the fish car. Didn't hardly get him on the camera at all. We didn't get a chance to say the fish car. 37th, Rutherford, 38th, Spath, 39th. And Ogden in 40th. That is your 40-car field.
And I see Titus and Tanner in the waiting room, and I'm sure Caleb is not far behind.
Yes, and what we want to do is I think we want to get some replays queued up here real quick, and then we will bring Tanner on in. And that way we can bring some other graphics up on the screen here. So many drivers. You have to scroll through all this. There we go. And we didn't really show any replays at all for this race. So
Yeah, there was just so much action.
So, yeah, really. Yeah, it was just... And we will get Tanner there in the middle of the screen with his day. And we will bring him on up in here. Here he is, Tanner. P3 today. A good run. 2 podiums to start off the season. A win and a third. That's going to bode well for the points championship. But talk about your race. It was pretty fast and furious out there at this race course.
Oh man, that was tough. I'm sweating pretty bad right now. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Man, I was kind of disappointed with my qualifying. I mean, I had a really good first lap and then just had an off track in the last corner, but I qualified P7, so I was like, okay, could probably make a podium out of this, considering it's a Bathurst and there's carnage. But yeah, it was just really crazy. Honestly, I don't remember too much, but yeah, just really solid, to be honest. I mean, just kept good pace. Had a slight incident with a Hunter. I don't know what that was all about. But I have to look at the replay. But yeah, it was a good race. I was catching up to Caleb at the end and just made some mistakes.
Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, so yeah, there was that little bit of a kerfuffle there with Hunter and Grav, especially after the pit stop cycle. But and it was a little bit of a clip there, and I think that was just like the iRacing system being weird that caused him to be out of the race at the end of the day, because that was like a broken front wing apparently on his part. But the kind of racing we saw around here, it really was like Gary said, fast and furious type. It's hard to make passes work here, especially at the top of the mountain there. But a lot of you guys were able to find ways to make it work. What was so the overall feeling of driving the car around here? Like, it was really conducive to that kind of racing, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, we had a whole lot of downforce, so made going around the track a bit easier for everyone else, for sure. The alternates were actually not too bad. I mean, they lost their groove after about 6 laps or so, and that's when they kind of started to drop off. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty clean racing for most of the part. So yeah, I mean, great job to Caleb and everybody else. So yeah, very happy with
Tanner, next week we go to the big oval at Texas Motor Speedway for the first oval race for this series. How are your oval skills? And I know some people dread the oval. How do you feel about the oval? Are you looking forward to it or not?
Unfortunately, I will not be here next week. I'm doing some stuff in Sebring in real life, so really sad to miss out on that, to be honest. I mean, I love ovals. My only win in cars is on an oval, so yeah. So it's yeah. I was really looking forward to that, but we'll just have to wait for the other ovals, and hope everybody has a good time next week.
All right.
Well, so Sebring.
Yeah. So the next time we see you, then after the Real World stop at Sebring, we'll be at Misano here in a couple weeks. So congratulations on the P3 today. It's going to bode well for you in the championship to start this season out. Any other shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd love to thank everyone at Eclipse, Titus, Michael, Evagoras, pretty much everyone on the whole team. Wouldn't really be doing this without them. And yeah, big shout out to all of our sponsors, Mosaic, EWIS, and all of them. And yeah, other than that, thanks to you guys for hosting a great stream and great race today.
No problem. It's good to have you here. Best of luck in the real world when you go to Sebring, and we will catch you at the next race that you're going to show up for in Italy. So take care, good luck, and congratulations on the day.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, guys.
All right, and let's bring up Caleb now. There he is. And I will just ask him the question that I asked in the broadcast. Caleb, did we blink too early and come to pit road sooner than we wanted to, or were we just kind of hoping that we could hold them off with those older tires?
Maybe in retrospect, but I was just struggling so bad in the blacks. I was really having a hard time keeping tires back, and um, Tanner was catching too. So I figured I wanted to try and try to be proactive instead of get beat if they kind of undercut because the Reds were so good. So yeah, I mean, maybe I should wait a couple more laps, but I still think trying to go a little earlier was the move. It just, I mean, Titus on those fresh tires was just so much better. I didn't really build as big of a gap as I was hoping. So, I mean, so it's always easy to look back and see what was right and wrong. But yeah, that was some good racing though, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We were entertained. I know Steven was.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I love about Bathurst. Even in open wheelers, it makes for really fun racing. And in an Indy car, that's got to be a whole different animal because, like, most of the people who race at Bathurst, even in open wheelers, they're not really doing it in much else besides like an F3 car and things of that nature. In an Indy car, how is the racing feeling out there?
Oh man, it was, as you could probably see, it was pretty intense, but it's just, I mean, obviously we're not doing the real thing, but compared to other iRacing cars, even in here, like they're so much more physical. Like I even had to turn the force feedback down a little bit for this track in particular, because it's just, you're like, especially up the mountain and stuff, I guess the tires are starting to wear, like, or even on cold tires to start this in too, you are just holding on for dear life, just trying not to wreck, trying not to have the car throw you around, like, it's definitely a workout, and throw in a guy a half second in front, a half second in back, battling for the lead, and it's definitely some of the toughest driving I think I've ever done. So, I mean, it was a blast though. I mean, obviously you want to be top step for sure, but just racing on the edge like that, just hanging onto the car, trying to battle people at the same time, like that's as good as it gets, especially when it comes to IndyCar. So, yeah, I say it all the time to everyone else, but real life and in IndyCar is just the best. So, yeah, I think it was on display here for sure.
I guess if we keep coming back here, you're going to have to put some more extra reps in at the gym just for those forearms, the way that they were getting tossed around on the force feedback. So who says that sim racing isn't a workout? Well, you know how that goes around here. We have you so many times up here in the booth. Just shout outs, friends, family. We know the fam is watching. Go ahead and shout them out. It's always good to have them here watching us here on P1.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, thanks to you guys for putting on the race for us. Yeah, and I know all the family always enjoys it. So thanks to you guys. And like I was saying, Amigos Tequila, if you're in the Northeast Ohio area, please go check them out. You won't regret it. And yeah, Joey Selman's art as well, Sunset Arctic Games, all the above. So shout out to all them. And yeah, for all the family and friends watching, thanks as always. I'm glad we could get together or put together a pretty good finish here. That was definitely a good show, I feel like.
Well, wild card race next week. We're on to the Oval at Texas, where anything can go. So we will see you there.
Yeah, let's see how that one goes. But hopefully, keeping it clean, I think, might be the goal for that. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yep, gotcha. Understand. Well, we'll catch you in a week, Caleb. Congrats, man.
Yep, thank you guys.
And everyone, the concern really for Texas is kind of getting through, especially if we're going to have 40 cars or close to it, getting through turn one on that start through those double dog legs on that front stretch on the quad oval area. Yeah.
You thought that was a concern here. That's going to be even more so there.
Right. And then we will get a chance to talk about the wicked aero push when we get to next week at Texas.
Don't forget Titus, of course.
Yeah, we're going to bring him up right now. Got his car on the screen. Titus Sherlock, 22nd different career win leader or career winner here in the Formula Indy Series. Welcome to the top step. Congratulations on the win. And really, it kind of worked out. Your pit strategy was the way to go versus the one that Caleb kind of picked. Your tires were fresher there at the end when it counted the most, and you pulled away and got the win.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect it this time. I'm not the greatest at making strategies on the spot. We didn't really, compared to Fuji, we didn't really practice at all, and I've been pretty under the weather most of the last couple of days. So didn't expect to hear, but happy to get first and third with Tanner as well.
Yeah, not a bad day for the team overall. Steven, any questions for him?
Yeah, and that was like we were having a great time watching you tussle with Caleb Bensey there at the end of the race, and it was really going back and forth between you two all night. Like describe the racing like that, especially describe the racing you were having there, especially with a track like this that you make one tiny mistake during that fight, it's game over.
Yeah, around here you really need to get in a rhythm, and I was not able to do that the whole time. I felt like I had to refocus after like every single corner, but the racing was great. The IndyCar just races awesome, having the two different compounds and having the wear rate and the fuel saving some people were doing. So the racing in this car is always fun. And yeah, with Caleb, just throughout the different stages of the race, we were faster at different times. Like first stint, I felt like he was a bit faster. Second stint, I was a bit faster. The third stint, obviously, I extended a bit longer, got the fresher tires at the end, so I was a bit faster. So it was a lot of fun, and just this car creates great racing, and this track is also kind of tough to overtake on, but very fun.
Well, next up is the Oval next week at Texas Motor Speedway. How are the Oval skills, and are you ready? They're the first of, I guess, 3 real wild card races this week, or this season, especially for a league and a lot of racers that are mostly road driven. How are you on the Oval?
Yeah, it's probably been 2 years since I've touched an oval, to be honest. So I gotta brush up more for later in the season. But I think I'm missing next week, unfortunately, because it's clashing with my real life racing schedule. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I definitely need to get a bit of practice in before we get to those.
Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to before we let you go for this big win?
Yeah, everybody on the Eclipse team, Tanner, Michael, Sam, Evagoras had a great drive as well. I think he went from last to 5th. Michael also started last and had his wheel disconnect when he was making good progress, so that was unfortunate. And yeah, everyone is on the team that that helps with the setups. Well, not in this league, of course, it's fixed, but just everyone that helps out the team. Thank you.
Well, congratulations on the win. First of many, I'm sure that we will see you get here in this league. Congrats on the team day as well. Best of luck in your real-world travels that you got coming up, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks at the next race that you show up for, which probably should be Misano then if you're not making Texas. So we will see you there. But congrats and best of luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Whew. Another doubleheader night done here. 2 of, I guess we got 9 of these this season here in the Formula Indy Series, and 2 different winners to start the season off. Not a bad start to a league where, we're kind of used to seeing Mitch Welker always as the leader and not as the winner, and he's not in this season's lineup. So we're seeing some new names that we haven't seen in a while or ever. And for the first time in a long time, we got 2 first-time winners in back-to-back weeks here in the Formula Indy Series to start the season off. Not a bad start to this season at all.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic start watching these guys go at it, and it's really allowing a lot of new talent to come to the fore, and especially at a track like this that really can bring out the best in drivers. It's just been an awesome start to the season, and Scotty Max, Scott McLaughlin, if you're watching this could be a good little case study to submit to maybe considering an exhibition run of these cars around this place, because it really seems like the IndyCar feels at home at this place. This place may be an FIA Grade 3 circuit, but I don't care. I would love to see these guys race in real life, because here in the virtual world with these guys at the top of the craft going at it like it is a sight to behold.
I wouldn't mind seeing an IndyCar race in Australia at all. It doesn't matter where to me, but I would love to see one there. Well,
Albert Park, Sydney Motorsports Park, Adelaide, don't care. It's all good to me. Gold
Coast again. Next week, the big wild card. This is primarily a road series. This is we do standing starts. We're IndyCar, but we kind of have a little bit of a Formula One flair. When we do go to the Oval, normally it's a big super speedway like Indianapolis, in the past Fontana. I think we've been to Michigan before, but normally it's for 1 race a season. For the first time in 7 seasons, we're doing 3 ovals this season. We're doing a 1.5-mile intermediate track. We're going to go to the historic Milwaukee Mile, and then we're going to go to a very difficult Nashville Super Speedway later in the the season. So there are going to be 3 big wild cards, and you kind of heard it with some of these guys where Titus was saying he hasn't been on an oval in a while. I'm sure he's not the only one, but we got a wild card race coming up at Texas Motor Speedway where we're going to be every bit for almost every single lap over 200 miles per hour. And I don't know if we just lost Steven.
Sorry about that.
There he is.
Sorry, that was checking something here. But Texas, always a classic on the IndyCar calendar, has become a modern classic in a lot of ways. It's like a lot of people don't like the new configuration, and I understand why, but 40 cars around Texas, you're going to get some good action out of that one for certain. And we were worried about in this race about a lot of people making it around the circuit just fine on lap 1. And ultimately, by the end of this race, we had 13 cars that made it to the end of the race. Texas, the attraction may not be as bad as that, but with 40 cars on a 1.5 mile track, it's going to get crowded pretty quick. So these guys have got to be on point.
And that is next week, so you guys will not want to miss it. Well, let's get on out of here, give everyone back their Wednesday night so they can get on with their evenings. But a good race here. I thought that tonight here at Mount Panorama would be a good one, and I think it really did deliver. And I think it delivered in both cases. I think it delivered in the support race, and then, of course, the main event today, the IndyCar Series, the FIS IndyCar Series here for their round 2 of Season 7. Certainly 100% delivered. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from the Mount Panorama Circuit in New South Wales, Australia, for the Joey Crossing Grand Prix of Australia is Titus Sherlock with his first career win here in the series. Caleb Bency, yet another podium for Caleb, but just he keeps racking them up. I think he might be the career leader here in podiums here in the series. He's second, and Tanner comes home third. Not sure how the points are. We will get points updates here a little bit later after the race. But I got to imagine if these 3 finished in the top 3 first race and the top 3 the second race, I think we got a three-way battle for the top spot right now. And it might just be next in class, might just be the person who finishes 4th here in this series. Who knows? But join us again next week for round 3 of the Formula Indy Series Championship as we head to the first of 3 oval tracks this season. We go to Texas Motor Speedway. Coverage begins. It's going to be later because we're not having a support race for the oval series. It'll be at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. 8:20. So the best thing you want to do is ring the bell when you subscribe to the channel, and you will be notified before we go live, so you will not miss next week's race. So remember, it's a later start than normal because we're on the oval, and so you don't miss any action. Just subscribe to the channel here at youtube.com/@P1Broadcasting, and ring the bell, and you'll get the correct broadcast time in your area if you do that. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts tonight's race. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you also miss out on more P1's other iRacing programming, including you can catch Cameron Dance again with the CIS Winter Series, Round 4 at Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Mark Murphy will be covering for me, and Andrew Wood will be calling the action there for the Classic IndyCar Series. You won't want to miss it. Tonight's coverage is sponsored by J. Cements Motorsports Art. Get your own hand-drawn racing artwork of your favorite driver, livery, team, or motorsports moment to hang on your home, in your office, above the fireplace, you name it. To see more of Joey's work or to contact him for your own commission, visit his website, follow him on Instagram, or email him today. You can find all of his socials in the description, and we appreciated having a play on his name, especially since we were in Australia here for the Joey Crossing Grand Prix. And He's a proud sponsor of today's race, so we want to thank him for that. Track cams for this race provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow all of our socials on Linktree or check them out in the description. So for Stephen Larkamp, everyone here at the FIS and P1, I'm Gary Gotso, the voice of the FIS, saying all good night and thanks for watching, and all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week at a later time, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time in Texas, for the next race of the Formula Indy Series on P1 Broadcasting. Good night.